Hey Mel, what are you doing there?
Building this old house. Maybe I better say this old shed.
Well, you got anything planned to say about the Lord today?
You taping me today? Okay. Well, you know what? You start pushing my button and I have some things to say. Actually, this old shed's a whole lot like me. There's a whole lot of parts that people have torn down buildings and thrown their lumber away, and I scavenger it. Everything in this building I'm putting together has been free. Stuff that people didn't want, old stuff to throw away. Kind of reminds me of an old song from many years ago called This Old House. The guy did an analogy of the old house was getting old. Actually, he was talking about himself. You know, his shingles were coming off and the windows needed repair, floor needed repair, but he was getting ready to go home. I'm kind of doing that, but the Lord's been blessing me with these things, giving me these old building materials, and actually all I have in this building, 5 pounds of nails and old parts, a couple rolls of roofing, and that's all I've had to pay for. The Lord gave it to me. You know, when I say it reminds me of what the Lord has done for me, I think about this, that in Ephesians, we're told there that Christ who loved me gave himself for me. I think about my past, it wasn't all that good. My life was anything except suitable for the Lord's work, but he loved me and he gave himself for me. And I'm grateful for that, because I have eternal life now, and eternal life that I have is available for everyone. I think about Peter. He had 3 failures in one evening. Jesus had told him, Peter, in all of his confidence, he said, Peter, you're going to fail me 3 times before the cock crows tomorrow morning. Well, Peter did that. One of the things exciting about Peter's life, though, when he failed so terribly, he wept bitterly and repented. But he actually thought his life was over because of what had happened to him. And he said, I'm going fishing. Other disciples joined him and said, we're going too. They thought it was over with. But Jesus, when he came to them after his resurrection, he said, Peter, lovest thou me? And he was saying, of course I do. Lord, you know I love you. Interesting, he asked him 3 times, do you love me? And Peter was saying, yes, Lord. It's almost as if he was getting irritated. And the Lord said, feed my sheep. In other words, he said, Peter, you're restored. You've had your failures. Your old building fell apart, but I put it back together. I died for you. Go feed my sheep. I suppose we all have a few failures during our life with Christ, but one thing that's always there, he forgives us, and he's ready to restore us and put us back into our ministry. In Romans, the 8th chapter there's a verse. It says that Christ commended his love toward us while we were yet sinners. Christ died for us. I think about that. That's like this old building. Just a lot of old pieces going to the dump to be ground up, burned in an incinerator. In this case, they would have been going to Portland, burned in an incinerator there for steam power for the city. But I was able to get my hands on them. They were free because I saw that they could be used. It's bad material to some people, but to me, I had a vision. And it won't be long. We'll be slapping paint on this. This will be my storage shed, and I'll be happy with it. It'll outlive me. You know, Jesus looked ahead. When he died for us, he saw that we were sinners. He saw that we were a mess. But he looked farther ahead. And he saw, I can take this material. I can take this corrupted life. I can take this life, in some cases, even demonic lives. And he turned men and women around. And one day, we'll stand before him and say, here, in that glorified body, to live eternally with him. I'm so thankful. Okay, you pushed my button. You heard from me. I have to get back to work.